G'day everyone, today I'm bringing you a full solo run of the Darkdrift Knight expedition as the Guardian. Despite being the tank class, Guardian can absolutely hold its own in solo play with the right relics and playstyle. That said, it still does struggle with the bosses a bit. So here's a full, unedited, uncut playthrough with live commentary, giving you an insight into what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and a bunch of general tips and tricks along the way. So here it is. Alrighty. Here we go, a solo Guardian run-through of Darkdrift Knight. So weapon and targeting locations, we want either a blood or a frost weapon for the procs or a lightning weapon for this boss. But the procs do help us with our damage output, so I might head up top after this. But first, relics. Now there's 3 relics that are very, very important. The first creates a whirlwind when charging halberd attacks. Have a look again. There it is. Right, so that does extra damage and extra stance damage, quite handy. The next one, see that there, that whirlwind animation that's ticking away for a few seconds, that's our second one. It'll say, it's like increased duration of whirlwind, or of character skill, something like that. I'll put them up on the screen as I usually do. So creating a whirlwind with our charged halberd attacks, specifically halberd, so you do have to use a halberd, and increased duration for our character skill whirlwind. These are both very, very handy. They turn most like small level mobs in the game completely trivial. The whirlwind will completely CC them, like chain CC them, stun them, like stun lock them. And I'm talking even up to and including like the more, the strongest knights. So banished knights, red mane knights, golden knights, they all also get stun locked by that whirlwind. And you can do 2 fully charged. I think I can hear there is a scarab up there. I'm just going to go get this scarab quickly. Early talisman's good. Oh, whoops, that's not the button. And yeah, so you'll see these skills on display, but both very important. Gold scarab, nice. The third one, which I'll show you in a second because I need an enemy to show you it properly. But again, I'll put it on the screen. The third one is you reflect damage when you guard with your Steel Guard passive ability. Right, your passive is Steel Guard. How that works is, when you are guarding, if you dodge while still holding the guard button, here, ready? So I'm guarding here, just normal. If I dodge, I take this kind of stance. See that? Now, that's just an enhanced guarding stance, but with that relic, see how it does that pulse of damage as well? And then I can do a charged guard counter. Now, of note, uniquely, Guardians are able to charge their guard counter. That wasn't That wasn't me misspeaking. So most classes can only do normal guard counters, which is, and if you're new to the game, a guard counter, I'm just going to take care of these rats slowly while I talk. The guard counters are when you do a heavy attack input immediately after guarding. It'll do a guard counter. Now, the Guardian class uniquely can actually charge that attack as well. And here it is. See that? It does like the little run up. So that's a charged guard counter. And I'm just mucking around with these rats at the moment. Not making particularly efficient work of them. That's right. Now, when you're in your Steel Guard stance like that, you obviously with the relic you do that little pulse of damage. The damage isn't too significant, to be honest. It's nice. It does add to extra stance build up. It does a small amount of stance damage by the feel of it. But you want to be... It's one of those things where you may as well use it because you want to be using Steel Guard anyway. Because it's a much more powerful form of guarding. It receives less stamina damage when guarding, and it probably also is a higher level of hardness, but I don't know that for sure. Hardness is the term for whether an attack bounces off your shield or not, or whether it just gets blocked. It's like when we attack the Crystallians one-handed, or the dudes down in the mines, and you bounce off them. That's because of their hardness. So if you're attacking certain enemies with a hardness class shield, they'll bounce off it, depending on what weapon they're using as well. So, and as you can see, it's just nice, a little bit of extra CC, a little bit of extra damage, and the whirlwind obviously itself, really handy. So these 3 relics make a really significant difference, more difference than probably any other relic so far has made for me, maybe except for the Wilder's Grapple. The Wilder's Grapple attack is really good and really satisfying. But these 3 together change the Guardian from being kind of a mediocre full guard counter, that's a fully charged guard counter, kind of like a mediocre tank, to being able to actually kind of hold its own, doing pretty substantial damage and I would say, unparalleled CC and control, certainly in an AoE situation. And again, as always, just charged heavy attacks to the feet. Oh, jeez, the stamps. I hate these stamps. Oh, dear. There we go. So I got a guard counter. Guard counters also do a very large amount of stamina damage, as in on par with a heavy charged attack in terms of stance damage. So they're very good for stance breaking. You'll see throughout this run, my last few runs, pretty much with this character, pretty much, what do we got there? Oh, a frost one. I did say I wanted a frost weapon. That'll be a good option to have for now. So like that there, for example, just completely trivializing any pack of enemies. You just whip them up in the whirlwind and because our heavy attack, our charged heavy attack is a horizontal motion. And so it just collects everything really nicely in the sweep. And the sweep also does, because of that first relic, also does its own little whirlwind of damage. So it's just really quite a nice combo. The Guardian I've been finding is kind of the opposite problem I had to characters like Duchess or Recluse, even more so Duchess. Duchess on bosses, 1 versus 1, really good. Like the empowered dodge that Duchess has, you can just dodge everything really comfortably. You can shoot from range with a staff. You can do dagger damage, really quick combos. Just quite nice, right? But when you're taking on large packs of enemies, like in a war camp with a few knights and a few other soldiers fighting you, like it doesn't take much for Duchess to just get stun locked and killed in just a few hits. Whereas Guardian, exact opposite kind of experience. All of the AoE and trash packs and stuff and war camps, just complete breeze. You just rip through there, whirlwinding everything, swiping everything with your halberd, super easy. But then you get to bosses, and the bosses are a little slow. They're a little slow, they're a little tedious, they're just a bit of a slog. So, anyway. Oh, why did that just... Oh, dear, what's going on there? Hold on, sorry, I'm just... No, okay. I don't know why my bloody W key just stopped working. I'm going to go through the mines here. The night's coming in, and I'm just moving through the mine to get my level 2 stone nice and early, to bank that in for later when I decide what I want to use as my main weapon, and also just to move through the mountainside here, and I'll come out the other side on the lakeside. Now, the troll down here, as always, charged heavy attacks to the legs. I might even throw a whirlwind in there as well, but there we go. See if we can get it. Oh, we did. Sometimes when he falls too far in the wrong direction, you can't get to his head, and it's just annoying. But he didn't go too. Excuse me, he didn't go too far there, fortunately. Now the whirlwind is still worth using on bosses and things. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it does help just maintaining your stance damage and building the stance damage a little. So, and I am assuming this works the same as Elden Ring. It might not, but I presume it does. In Elden Ring, stance damage built up like an invisible threshold, essentially, and it lasted 6 seconds before it would start depleting. So, in theory, you should try and tap the boss with any little bit of damage every 6 seconds to stop the stance damage depleting. Just in general, on all characters, that's something you should do. It's particularly easy on a character like a Guardian, where you can just do little pokes with your spear while guarding. Or you've got a whirlwind that's ticking away for an extra 3 or 4 seconds while you're running off, blocking or dodging or whatever. And the whirlwind does help to just maintain and build the stance damage quite nicely. You'll see I am stance breaking things just constantly on this character between the charged heavy attacks with the whirlwind. And as I said, the whirlwind seems to do more stance damage than just the baseline attack. It probably adds a small amount of stance damage. A charged heavy attack already has decent stance damage, but the whirlwind just, I think, adds a little extra. Completely feely crafting. I don't actually know for sure, but it just feels that way to me. I could be wrong. Maybe it's just the heavy attacks. But charged... I'm going to grab that bewitching branch just in case. I've not actually tested this. That might be useless. I don't think I can take him on yet. No way. Let me just check his health. Oh, no. That's... Look at it. I tickled him. I'm going to run away from him. We'll go up and clear this camp. That's a hard boss as is, let alone when I'm doing 1/100th of his health bar. So the bewitching branch, one of the bosses, I think the second night boss, has an option of having the commander with 2 of those banished knights. I did want to just test and see if I can bewitching branch one of them, because you used to be able to do that in Elden Ring, but they weren't like the spectral version, like the ghost versions that they are in this, so maybe it won't work, but I did want to just test it, and I just thought of it then, so I picked it up. Anyway, what I was saying is, and as you can see, the whirlwinds there are just so good at controlling the packs. What I was saying is that with the charged guard counters definitely do very high poise damage, stance damage, and I will be just breaking them constantly, breaking the stance of enemies constantly on this character. And I'm just going to ulti here just to get back in control of this. Feel free to like use your ulti regularly, because you can see how my ulti has only got, I don't know, like 60% of the bar used, because the ulti is intended to be used to then channel and hold the ulti button when you land and protect all your allies for a moment. When you're not doing that because you're by yourself, it only refunds like a good portion of the thing. So use it quite rapidly. 12% damage negation. Use it often. Don't sit on it for don't save it for next run or something. Like, you may as well use it. What have we got here? Where to go? Sorry, I just haven't. I sip my coffee while I have brain lag. I just had a moment where I was like, hold on, I'm level 7. What day is it? But we're still on day 1, and we haven't. Yeah, we're still not moving to the first boss yet. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, I was gonna say it's feeling like it's gone for a while. Grab those fire pots. Yeah. Alright, so Knight is now moving. I think I'm going to commit to this Frost Glaive, to be honest. With the Guardian, where's the location? Right up there in the middle. Okay. Well, we don't have anywhere we can really go here. We might just check for scarabs and just clear any little patrols and trash and stuff, because there's not a lot we can do meaningfully here. Bit of a funny pathing, but I am level 7 already, so I'm not too fussed. We can waste a bit of time here just checking around for scarabs and stuff. Often one behind here, but there's not. That's alright. Yeah, so for weapons, if you're doing a guardian playthrough, there's probably 3 different weapons I'd recommend, maybe 4. A bleed, so halberds specifically, because I think getting the stance damage of halberds as opposed to spears is significantly higher. They're on like a tier. If it's the same as Elden Ring, again, caveat, assumption. Halberds are on a tier of stance damage just below great weapons, but well above spears. So halberds are good for that. Also, you get the one of these relics, the one that gives the the charged attacks, an extra whirlwind effect, is specific to halberds. So I think it is just worth using halberds. And if you can get a bleed halberd or a frostbite halberd, those are a good option. Our damage on bosses is low, and it is a bit of a wear them like a war of attrition on bosses. We wear them down slowly with guard counters, stance breaks, criticals. We're certainly not bursting them down quickly. So having the status procs for bleed and frostbite helps with percent, because so if you're not aware, they are both percentage based health. I think bleed is 15% and frostbite is 10%. Frostbite also then increases the damage they take by 20% or something for 30 seconds or whatever it is. So both of those I'm just going to check. There's often a chest down the side here, like a buried treasure. There's not. Oh well. I had to waste time anyway, so now I can run back all the way around. But there's not much else I could have done anyway, so it's not like I'll grab this patrol on the way up if I haven't got this one yet, actually. So a bleed or frostbite weapon are 2 good options. The other good option is actually just a raw physical weapon that has one of a few really good. So typically in this game, because in Elden Ring you could kind of mix and match whatever you wanted with the Ashes of War and stuff. In this game they're a little more set. So for example, if you're getting an elemental weapon, like if you're getting a fire halberd, it's going to have flaming strike or flame with red mains on it, right? Flaming strike's good. Flame the red mains not so much for fighting bosses and things. Not a big fan. Just a little slow, a little weak. It was really strong at the start of Elden Ring, but it has been nerfed. This also means I've got the Revenant, by the way, which is the worst boss. I hate the Revenant. Anyway. So, yeah, if you get a raw physical, halberd, that will have some options that are really good. So Giant's Hunt, really good skill. Piercing Fang, really good skill. You'll often see those two on raw physical halberds. So that's a good option. And then you basically want to stock and stash and hoard elemental greases as you find them. You want to have literally 2 or 3 stacks of elemental greases out of your 4 slots, or grab a pouch and get 5. And that's actually a really strong option because the raw physical ones will have the highest base damage, and then you add elemental grease on top of that. And those skills in particular can really carry. Piercing Fang and Giant's Hunt, really strong. And then the last option is just to use a halberd of the element. I'm just going to ulti here because I hate this dude's attacks so much. Oh dear. As you can see, I'm just getting guard counters and things where I can, and then getting, as you can see, that's already 2 times that I've stance broken and gotten criticals. And there's a frostbite proc. You see how strong that is? So it is well worth getting. And I'm just... One thing with your Steel Guard, I really recommend dodging backwards to activate your Steel Guard most of the time. Certainly on larger bosses. If you're dodging forward to activate your Steel Guard, you'll find that often you'll slide kind of sideways around the boss's model, especially if they're a larger boss. And then the boss's attack is still going to track you, and it's going to kind of swing around and hit you in the back. Not ideal at all. If you dodge backwards to activate your Steel Guard, most boss attacks, again, they're so big that they're going to track you and hit you anyway, and then you can proceed to do your guard counter, your charged guard counter, and the only other possibility is that they just miss you entirely, which is fine. That's much better than getting hit in the back. So dodging backwards to activate your guard counters, to activate your Steel Guard mode. Definitely recommend that. And the last weapon option is just to get an elemental weapon for that boss's weakness. So this boss, for example, Darkdrift Knight, a lightning weapon. If we happen to come across a lightning halberd, that would be suitable as well. But honestly, and this is probably something that I'm still realizing, I tend to try and chase weapons a little too much. Chase them if they're convenient. Certainly keep it in mind when you're deciding on pathing, but don't try and force a weapon or a one bleed camp that's on the other side of the entire map from where you started, and you change your whole pathing around it. Generally, you're going to come off worse. See how I dodged back there to activate Steel Guard? That's generally what you want to do. I'm just going to ulti for some damage. See if I can get a stance break here. Yes. Yeah, so generally 2 to 3 on even bosses of this kind of size. I just whacked the mic with my nose. 2 to 3... what was I saying? 2 to 3 charged attacks, fully charged attacks will stance break most enemies, including your guard counters. Charged guard counters as well do on par with a charged heavy, which is good. Improved fire attack, fire pots. I'm going to grab these. Right, what have we got? 15% guarding ability improved. So guard boost up to 74 from 60. So guard boost, if you're not familiar with the stats and stuff in Elden Ring, guard boost is the stat that determines how much stamina damage how much stamina is used when you guard an attack. So the higher guard boost you have, the less stamina will be consumed upon guarding an attack. So higher guard boost is better. It's the main stat that you want to be, like a good shield is a shield that has high guard boost. In this game at least. In Elden Ring there was also, and there might still be in this game, I haven't noticed it anywhere though. Some of those stats are a little more hidden. Maybe it's in the journal thing back at the round table hold. But in Elden Ring, you would also want to consider different shields would have different mitigations against different types of damage. So 100 physical mitigation, but then maybe only 60 against fire. But some shields might be 80 mitigation against lightning, right? So depending on the certain bosses and things, you would bring different shields for mitigation-wise. But in this game, honestly, just go for the highest guard boost for the most part. Is going to be your priority. Ooh, thrusting counterattacks. That's good. A counterattack is... Get rid of that mottled thing with resistances. A counterattack is whenever you're attacking the enemy at the same time they're attacking you. Very easy to effect on a thrusting shield build because you're often shielding and thrusting at the same time. And guarding and thrusting. Shielding and thrusting. Gosh, quote that. And bloody warming stones. And Yeah, so 20% increase to thrusting counter strikes is pretty good. And obviously we're doing thrusting damage with this halberd, so except for our heavy attack is not thrusting. Our heavy attack would be a slash, but any of the thrusts are obviously thrusting damage. I've pretty well just got to traverse a little bit here. I don't have a lot of options, which is fine. Don't be afraid to... Oh, excuse me. Jesus. Ooh. Don't be afraid to move across the map when needed. There's nothing else here really for me, so just going to cut my losses here and move across. I'm level 10 already. Gosh, I'm moving quickly. I might start farming the castle, to be honest. I've got my purple weapon. Normally you'd want to spend a few minutes going into a cave and grabbing a level 2 smithing stone, either earlier on like I did in this run, or right about now if you haven't got one, and watching out for that pot throw, because you've got to throw... Watch. I hate these pot throws. They are the worst. What have we got? Yeah, improved dodging. Oh no, in negative damage negation. That's not what we want for Guardian. Yeah, we're going to go up to the castle here and start to clear the castle out, I reckon. Yeah, normally, like I've got my purple weapon already. I'm happy with my weapon, I'm happy with my shield. I'm probably best off just farming at this point. And the trolls are actually the best version of the... Because sometimes the castle is Crucible Knights, sometimes the castle is Banished Knights. The trolls are actually, I find, the best to... except for those pot throwers, man. The trolls are the best to farm because they... So like every one of the trolls actually gives you a loot reward, whereas some of the other ones, like the Banished Knights and Crucible Knights, you spend all this time killing a bloody Crucible Knight, and it's not even like a boss. It just... You don't get any reward choice out of it, which I was a little upset about when I first did that. I spent all this time killing a damn Crucible Knight, and I didn't even get a reward for it, other than just the base runes that you get for killing anything, which was very upsetting. So as you can see there, I'm even against enemies like this, getting those steel guards, and then guard counters, charged guard counters. Let's see if I can get the crit here. No, oh, there we go. I thought he was going to be hiding behind this little brick wall, but I got it. Now, at this point, I'm pretty much going to... I reckon I'll farm... It's actually not as... Normally, I'm a little faster at killing the trolls, because I often play Wilder, or the Raider is actually becoming one of my favourites. And I'll have a heavier weapon, and so it is genuinely too... What we got here? Candle stand... Oh, improved flask restoration. 20% is probably the go here. I'm going to need every bit of health I can to kill this Darkdrift Knight, which is a pretty tough boss if you haven't fought it yet. All the tier guides are saying that the tier lists and stuff are saying that it's the hardest. So we'll see. I've managed to kill it once on the Guardian already, but it was very scuffed, and I had a bleed weapon. So I figured I'd give it another go and see if I can get a cleaner kill. But yeah, it's a pretty tough boss. But I think I've got the strategy relatively down pat for the Guardian. And honestly, the Guardian might even be one of the better classes to verse the Darkdrift Knight, and you'll see why if I get up to it here. Just getting rid of this guy. As you'll see here in a second, every one of these trolls gives a loot option. So it's just a really good way to farm like healths and staminas, and oh, there you go, 10% health. Yeah, I find it one of the best like farming spots. If you can get yourself in a position where you're happy with your weapon and your gear and stuff early on, and you're around level 9, 10, 11, you can just start farming these trolls. But as I said, normally I'm playing a slightly heavier weapon that stance breaks them even quicker. But this is still pretty workable, especially with Frostbite proccing there. Critical in the face. The face is a weak spot for all trolls, just by the way. Like if you're playing a bow, just random little tidbit of info here. If you're playing a bow, you can use the actual aim function, like an FPS, and aim in and shoot their head, and it'll like full stun them. I have to be careful of that pot thrower. I kind of didn't even realise it. Oh, Jesus. Well, I wasn't watching what I was doing. Oh, the knight's here as well. I wasn't even watching what I was doing. That's me just being distracted talking. No big deal though. I don't want to pretend like, you know, as I said in one of my first videos, I'm not a pro, I'm not an expert, I don't do like no-hit runs or anything. I'm a pretty standard kind of player. I've obviously got a lot of experience in Souls-likes, but I'm not doing anything too crazy, so it's perfectly fine to die. It's not a big deal, you just run back, you've wasted a little bit of time, assuming you get all your runes back, so that should be your priority, get to your runes and get them back. It's not the end of the world. Don't get too disheartened. It's not going to scuff your entire run. If you get farmed 3 or 4 times in a row and then you lose your runes and stuff as well, yeah, then it's kind of boring. But, I had 115,000 runes. I've got them all back. It's no big deal. I'll just come back and kill this troll again. It's no big deal. Oh, dear. Not like that, I won't. Oh, the pot throwers, man. All right. Right as I was telling you that it's fine unless you die multiple times. All right. Well, I've got to double down now. I'll show you. It's fine. I swear. No, really though. Like I've wasted a little bit of time here, but I've had a good run so far. I've had a runes relic from level 2, so my farming's perfectly on track. Not the end of the world. I can just run back. I didn't lose my runes, so I got my runes back between dying, which is the important thing. Theoretically, I could go and die again, and it would be fine as long as I keep getting my runes back. It's just the time loss, basically. But I'm at the point where I'm just farming from levels 10 to 12. I'm happy with my weapons. Not a big deal. We'll run it down. In fact, I might try and bait this guy back because I've learnt my lesson. And there's the pot throwers. I told you, the worst mobs in this game, for sure. That's just classic. Whoever decided in the office one day at From Software, let's put trolls of huge magic pots up on this castle, and we'll just throw them at... Oh, no, come on. We'll just have the... I'm talking too much. We'll just... This is almost comical at this point. Alright, I'm paying attention. No more talking for a second. I need to get my reward. Okay. Resistances, I guess. I don't need another halberd. Yeah, whoever made these trolls should get fired. Or maybe this is why we love the game and we're all just narcissists. Not narcissists. What's the thing where you like pain? Sadists. Narcissists. Maybe we're narcissists too, who knows. Yeah. Anyway. So, 2 deaths in a row, no big deal. I'm level 9, I've got 160k runes. I didn't lose my runes, I've lost a bit of time, but don't get disheartened if you die. It's not actually the end of the world. You can just run it back. Just make sure that getting your runes back is your priority, because if you lose like 100k runes, that is then a big deal, and you may have jeopardized your run more significantly, because now you're going to be 2 or 3 levels lower in the boss fight, which is a significant loss. Right? But there's all those speed runners and stuff that are already doing like no-hit runs and stuff, so you could also just no-hit run it. See, more max HP. More maxed HP. So these trolls are generally, I find, a really good farming location. Lots of those passive buffs. That's another 20% health I got from here, even amongst my getting farmed by trolls with pots. Alright, where are we going? Up there. 183. Going from 11 to 12 is 55k, so this will probably get us to level 12 if I average one above, one below, and they're all if I average 55k, then we should be getting to level 12 from this, I think, if my napkin math is correct, which it often isn't, so I take that with a grain of salt. Either way, we've got plenty of runes. I'm not too fussed. Decent weapon, frostbite weapon I'm happy with. Not quite as good as bleed, but frostbite's pretty good too. Yeah, there you go, level 12. And I've got a shield with decent guard boost. So we're in a decent position. Now the boss options for this night too are both kind of shitty. There's the Knight Rider, Dragon Rider dude with the electricity. He's the worst option for the Guardian specifically because his weapon does a significant portion of damage as lightning. Do I have time to kill these guys? I probably don't. We'll see what I can do. So again, Whirlwind here. See, even these Banished Knights, which are typically a strong knight, they're getting stun locked by this Whirlwind. Quite powerful. So that guy getting stunned then, that was from one of the procs of damage from that relic, as in the reflecting damage. So they definitely do contribute at least a component of stance damage. It might only be low, but it's definitely doing something because that's what caused him to stance break just then. And I don't have time to do this. I'm just going to kill him and take my runes and leave, I think. Yeah. Come on. No, silly Guardian with big wings. Get out of there. Alright. Character models, eh? This is... Ooh. A Knight's Cavalry. Shame we don't have more time, otherwise I could kill him pretty quick smart. That's okay. Level 12 already, I don't need to be any higher than level 12. I'll get probably level 13 from killing this Night Boss. And it's not a big deal. I need to remember, I'm not super convinced on the health flasks recovering damage over time. I don't really know, I'm not convinced on whether they're worth it or not. They don't seem to be any like explicitly better or worse, other than for running through the fog. But even then, it still takes the same amount of time to drink, and as far as I know, it's still the same amount of health overall, so I don't think it changes much. This is good. This is the better version of this boss. Oh, hang on, which boss is this? Oh, this will be the Nocstella, I thought there was only... Sorry, I just bumped the mic again. I thought there was only 2 options for this boss. Maybe there's 3. I'm pretty sure you can get either the Commander with his 2 Banished Knights. You can get the Lightning Dragon Rider dude, who I think is the hardest, certainly for Guardian, because most of his attacks, as I was saying before, do a portion of lightning damage, which goes through my guard. And so it's much harder to do what is normally our strategy on bosses, which is to guard counter everything that we can. Steal guard and guard counter as much as possible. But this one, I'm pretty sure these mobs, the Nocstella mobs, means that it's the lightning soldier, the lightning dragon soldier thing. The one that's like sitting back on its hind legs with the annoying hitbox. So that's what we're fighting, I guess. And I've got no consumables. That was pretty poor of me, except for the bewitching branch I picked up right at the start that I don't need, because apparently I got the bosses wrong. Anyway, all we're doing here on this fight is... Oh, that was the whirlwind. I didn't even connect properly there. That must have been the whirlwind. Get a crit here. All we can really do on this fight here, he's kind of hard to guard counter. This is an example where a boss is hard to guard counter, because even though I get the ones there, and I nicked his hand there, but often your guard counter thrust will go right up towards his head and chest, and you'll just not connect because of the shape of his... Like that, exactly like that, right? So it is one of those, as much as I can guard counter happily out the front here and do... Sorry, as much as I can steal guard out the front and then do guard counters, most of them are going to miss. So we're actually better off just moving... I'm going to ulti to avoid this entire thing. Use your ulti strategically like I did just there, just for a moment of vulnerability and to retaliate with a little bit of damage for big AoE attacks like that. Our best strategy for this fight as the Guardian is simply going to be to move in behind his rear legs. You can still do the steel guards just to block any of those big frontal attacks like I'm doing there. And then get in behind his legs, use the whirlwind and just do a charged heavy attack. Because the charged heavy attack is a horizontal sweep, which has the best chance of connecting with his mangly little legs and annoying hitbox. Yeah, see, I just find it... one of those bosses where I find just getting to him and connecting with him is half the battle. Which typically makes for a less fun boss to me, but, you know, I guess there's lots of different types of boss. It's a cool looking boss, cool theme, but yeah, not my cup of tea. Oh, delayed that one a little too much. You're actually better off just hitting your surge sprint and running away from all those. Bugger. So if I'd dodged backwards then as I activated my steel guard, I probably would have guarded that one. Charged heavy attacks, as I said, are going to be your best option here. Oh dear, I knew that was coming too and I still got hit by it. Oh well, it's like that sometimes. I'm chipping away at him. This is fine, I think. It's not the most interesting fight. It's a lot of, as I said, this fight feels like it's a lot of just chasing him, running up behind his legs and jab him once or twice. So there's an example. Even though I still guarded that correctly, he's moved too far away. Like that again. Yeah, terrible fight for the Guardian to try and... Because the Guardian's strength in a boss fight is the guard counters. And look, I'm just jabbing into mid-air there. It's not connecting at all. But fortunately, we got another... Oh, no, come on. Oh, didn't get my critical. That's a shame. I might... Oh, dear. Gonna ulti again here, I think. Oh, no way. And he moved away from that. That is huge sad. Steel Guard. Steel Guard's actually awesome. Once you get the hang of it, you'll pretty well be pressing your guard button and your dodge forward or dodge back, dodging in whichever direction simultaneously, while locked on to the target. And with a decent shield and decent guard boost, and the bonuses from the Steel Guard kind of passive skill itself, being an enhanced version of a guard, you take very little stance damage, and you can reliably use them throughout a fight. What have we got here? Stamina recovery is good, but I think I'll take physical attack power. Yeah. If it was max stamina, I would have taken that. But stamina recovery, I'm less fussed on. Stamina recovery is better for other characters, but for Guardian, I actually just want a max stamina pool for the most. I mean, it's all good, but yeah, damage I'll take in this instance. All right. Oh, level 14. Not bad. I need to... Oh, I don't have any Wending Grace. Oh, my God. And now I've only got one. That's a shame. So that's poor of me. I should have gotten a Wending Grace at the merchant. In all that time that I was running around being like, oh, you don't need to... There's not much I can do here. I should have been looking for a merchant and buying the Wending Grace. Anyway. All right. This boss is a toughie. We're pretty much going to be steel guarding nearly everything. It's lots of AoE, lots of physical AoEs. Fortunately, the magic or the lightning component, whatever, or holy, whatever it is, component of his attacks is not too significant, so we can see that steel guard most of his attacks, and that is exactly what we're going to do. Half of our guard counters he is going to run away from like that, but the other half of them we will connect with, and that's pretty much what we're going to be doing. So dodging back like I did there, and then you can do the charged guard counter also helps to close. Now this attack here, you want to dodge straight into it. Not dodge, you want to steel guard straight into it. He does that very regularly. Those big like golden spears from the ground, you can steel guard block those. Oh dear. Sorry, I've just got brain lag while I'm concentrating. This one here, again, ready? Steel guard straight into him. Like that, and then we can do a... Oh, no. Oh, damn it. We got a crit, but that other follow-up AoE stopped us. But as you can see, that vertical lightning spear from the ground, holy spear, I think this is holy. Oh, man. This boss is just straight up chaos half the time. Oh, dear. So I did block that, but then that... Ah, damn. AoE got me. All right, that's my free res gone. And we're only a quarter in. That's not looking good. There we go. As I said, steel guard with a backwards dodge, and then this one here, just steel guard straight into him, and that's a free charged guard counter. You should try and get in the habit, particularly for these more intense, fast-paced fights, of completely releasing your guard anytime that you're not actively actually getting your steel guard and guard counter, so that your stamina can return at a much more rapid rate. So that attack there is actually our most reliable kind of source of damage. As you see, I've gotten a crit there. Because it doesn't knock us back, he stays put for a moment, and we can get a fully charged guard counter out. Okay, half health, he gets all these big, mangly purple arms out, and the fight becomes somehow even more chaotic. I've still got 4 health potions though. I'm pretty comfortable. I've got 1 revive still, and I've got an ulti. This is looking good. We'd take this very slow. We just keep our distance and steel guard everything like that. And at least we won't take a lot of the damage from all these AoE attacks. See that? It's kind of like, it's almost like a cheesy way of doing it, just guarding everything. But I mean, that's what the Guardian does, right? There's got to be a trade-off for having bloody negative damage, which is that you can guard things. Oh dear. Oh dear. Just going to ulti to have a moment of reprieve there. Fully charged attack. Is that going to stance breaking? No. Alright, this one might. Steel guard. And guard counter. Lovely. Alright, that's another crit. Nice. As you can see, even against a major boss like this, 2 to 3 fully charged guard counters is enough to get a stance break on him. Alright, so we've got 3 potions. Ooh, just going to steel guard everything that we can here. Oh, man. As I said, just get little moments. Here we go, there's another one. Lovely. it's all those AoEs on the ground. Because the dodge on the Guardian is like, moves you about bloody 5 inches, not very far at all. It's very hard to get out of ground mechanics like that. It's the same on the mad, here we go, the Frenzy boss number 4, Libra, or whatever it's called. It's the same on that. It's really hard to get out of the AoE circles underneath you just because you walk so slowly and your dodges are so short. Oh dear. Okay, that's my last life. Oh, it was looking so good too. Alright. I'll just have to take this really slow. Same as always though, don't need to change it up. Oh, see, I dodged through him then. If I dodged back, I would have been fine. And we're just going to guard all of these, because these are just physical, like, air pulses. And we are just going to steel guard all of them. This one will do a little bit of damage through my shield, but here we go. Sorry, I'm just focusing here. I don't want to die. Dying at this point would be big sad. Oh, ground mechanics. Oh no. Oh no, not this. This is not it. Alright. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Jeez, I got my guard up just in time there. These ground mechanics are awful. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Dearie me. Alright. We've got ulti coming up, thankfully. There we go. Guard all of these. And again. Lovely. And a guard counter. Oh, almost. Ulti, ulti, ulti. Oh, photo finish. Here we go. Fuck yeah. Alright. This big bloody bird. How good. Alright. Tough boss. Tough boss, that one. Don't be surprised if it takes you quite a few attempts. I've been practicing Guardian on this boss for too long today, and it's taken me a while to get down some of those different patterns. So, and even then I used 2 revives. 2 revives? Yeah. Anyway, that's it for this one. Hope you enjoy the video. As always, like, comment, subscribe if you enjoy, and all that good stuff. Thanks for watching, everyone. Cheers.